Whenever you create an object with your first click, you also not only set the first edit point or control vertex, you also define where the pivot point is. The pivot point is, let's think about it as the reference point for move, rotation, and scale. So I just click something like this and click my object and click on move and maybe turn on grid. And I click right here and you will see if I left mouse button click, this point is moved to there and with it the complete object. Now you can move this pivot point to somewhere else. So you can click pivot with this object selected and I click and drag left mouse button. You see I can move this point. If I now go to move, turn on grid, and maybe I click down here, you will see this point is going to be moved and in relationship the object moves with it. To, for example, put this point onto the last point, we can turn on point snap. Or, for example, press the control key. And then I click somewhere close and you see then I drag. I still have my left mouse button clicked. Release my mouse button. Perfect. I can also put, for example, this point on a curve. So I click close to a curve. Sorry, no, in this case, actually, you have to click on the curve. So you see now I can slide it along a curve. I would like to reset it to the original point. This time I press Control, click and go closer to this point, release, Control and left mouse button, and the pivot point is reset. That's the way how the pivot point works. Just as an example, if I copy and paste and move this object to somewhere else and I select both objects, I can move both at the same time. If I turn on grid, both objects are being moved to there. You see? They both snapped to there. So it's not that with the grid I moved them, they're being snapped to the grid. So be really cautious about this. If I rotate, you see they're all being rotated along the individual pivot point. This also means if I scale them, they all scale along their own individual object center. If I would like all of those scale to the same position, for example, I can, with both objects selected, turn on the pivot point, maybe set it to here, scale. Now you see they're scaling to that point because both objects have the pivot point reset to that position. So if I would like to bring the pivot point back, Control, click to there, nothing, Control, click to there. So I have for each object to reset the pivot point alone.